Okay, picture this. You walk into class. No pencils, no scantrons, no, you may begin now. Instead, you're building a robot, solving a community problem, or pitching a business idea to your classmates. Sounds like a dream? For a lot of education futurists, it's actually the plan. Yup. We're talking about a future without traditional exams. Sounds wild, right? But when you look at the trends, the research, and the cracks already forming in the system, it starts to make sense. Let's break it down. First, what's wrong with exams? Now don't get me wrong. Exams had their place. They were a neat way to rank, compare, and measure stuff. Great if your goal is to filter students into rigid systems, like factory jobs or university admissions in the 1950s. But let's be honest. In today's world, standardized exams are outdated. They test memory more than mastery. They stress students out to the point of nosebleeds. And they don't prepare you for actual life. Because real life doesn't hand you a worksheet and say, you have 45 minutes. No calculators. Don't talk to anyone. In the real world, you use calculators. You collaborate. You Google things. You solve messy problems. And most exams don't teach any of that. So, what's replacing them? Good question. The answer is a lot. Here's what's gaining steam right now in education systems around the globe. 1. Project-based learning. Instead of memorizing formulas, students build things. Research problems. Present real-world solutions. It's learning by doing, not just recalling. 2. Portfolio assessment. Think of it like a highlight reel. Students gather evidence of their growth: essays, artwork, prototypes, code, reflections. It shows progress over time, not just performance on one bad Tuesday. 3. Performance tasks. You get a challenge, and you show how you'd tackle it. For example, design a city with renewable energy sources. It's practical, collaborative, and a whole lot closer to how modern jobs work. 4. AI-assisted feedback. Instead of waiting weeks for grades, future learners might get instant feedback powered by artificial intelligence that explains what they missed and how to improve. This stuff is already being tested in places like Finland, Singapore, and parts of the US. The goal? Evaluate deeper thinking, not faster bubble filling. But wait, won't getting rid of exams make things less rigorous? Actually, no. This is the biggest myth. People think if we ditch exams, we're making things easier. But in reality, it's harder to demonstrate what you know through real-world work. Copy-pasting an answer from memory? That's one thing. Designing a working prototype and explaining your decisions? That's a whole new level. In fact, future schools might be more challenging. Just in a different way. Less cramming. More thinking. Less panic. More purpose. Why now? Why are schools shifting away from exams now? 2 reasons. 1. Tech explosion. Information is everywhere. You don't need to memorize the periodic table when you can look it up in 0.2 seconds. The value isn't in knowing facts, it's in using them wisely. 2. Workplace evolution. Employers don't care if you aced a test 5 years ago. They want to see if you can adapt, solve problems, lead teams, and think critically. Exams just don't measure that well. We're in a world of creators, coders, designers, analysts, entrepreneurs. And those roles? They don't need exam scores, they need skills. So what does a school without exams actually look like? Imagine this. Students work in flexible teams across different age groups. They tackle long-term passion projects. They use VR, simulations, and real-world case studies. Teachers act more like mentors or learning coaches. Eye tracks progress and gives feedback in real time. Students level up in subjects like a video game, earning badges, not grades. And instead of sitting in a silent room, sweating over multiple choice, you're standing in front of your classmates, pitching your app that helps reduce food waste in your neighborhood. That's not science fiction. Schools like this already exist. But what about universities? How will they select students? Great question. This is where things get interesting. Colleges are already moving away from entrance exams like the SAT and ACT. Many are turning to personal portfolios, interviews, teacher evaluations, passion projects, volunteer work, startup ideas, online courses completed, because let's face it, anyone can memorize. But not everyone can create, build, lead. Universities want thinkers, not just test takers. And in the future, they'll want learners who've already done stuff. Won't students slack off without the pressure of exams? Maybe at first. But here's the truth. Most students aren't lazy, they're disengaged. Because when you force someone to learn only what's on a test, you kill the spark. But when students work on problems they care about, suddenly, they're up late editing videos, building websites, coding solutions, writing stories. Self-motivation isn't born in a Scantron. It's born in ownership. Future schools will give students a reason to care, not just a reason to pass. Final thought. The end of exams isn't the end of learning. It's the beginning of real learning. Messy, creative, collaborative, useful learning. Will it happen overnight? No, but it's coming. One pilot program, one curious teacher, one brave school at a time. So here's a question for you. If your school had no exams, what would you want to build, solve, or explore? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And if this video got your gears turning, hit that like button, subscribe for more education deep dives, and share this with someone who's done with traditional school vibes. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and remember, some of the smartest people on earth didn't ace a test. They rewrote the rules.